really well. As I said, I will promise I would be back. Don't know if I don't know what's going on here. I don't want to connect that. Honestly. Let's get my sound going again. Hopefully that should be better. Anyway, get that sorted out. So welcome to the United Devil with me, JB, and my dog Buddy, who is down here. As promised, I would jump on whenever there's any news, whenever I go for a run or there's anything happening. I will always jump on and let you guys know what's going on. So as is typical for me, whenever I do anything, you're probably going to hear the dog bark in a second as well, because he's got his favourite bowl. Let's get the dog's bowl. So whenever I go for a run, that's why I'm all sweaty and out of breath and panicking, is basically because I've just been out for a run. Anytime I do anything of any note, something always tends to happen, and it's no different to what I've just learned as I've just walked through the front door, checking things as I do. So I'm just trying to get this camera right. As I say, I've literally just got back now from a run, hence that's why I'm all sweaty and disgusting. As I say, I just walked through the front door and checked X. Now, this is coming from Indicator. So Indicator are a little bit hit and miss when it comes to this sort of stuff. Honestly, I've got a dog. A dog barking is butt off. There you go. Not Bray May. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing really well, buddy. Go away. Go away, dog. Honestly. So, Indicator. Apparently, there's a bid gone in. If any, Chikawa. I hope you're doing really well, my friend. So, latest breaking news. Scott, I hope you're doing really, really well, mate. As I said, just come back from a run. We went out for a run, come back, and breaking news. And this is now sort of doing the rounds a little bit. We can digest and we can talk about what we basically think about this, whether we think it's a load of nonsense. I've got obviously my opinion on it as well, but it does kind of make sense in a way with what's going on with the midfield situation. So Ittihad apparently have come in, good afternoon to you, sir, have come in with an inquiry and with potential bid and a potential escape route for Casemiro. Now, I'd love to know, and again, this is from Indicator, we can discuss their reliability. So there is a bit of I think there's a bit of a misconception around them that sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. EMR 7, yes, I do know them. They're a good team. The Hexian says we would be nuts to sell him. How would we get a replacement? So the Hexian, I think this. So we can look at it quite a few ways. Honestly, there's always somebody. Now, what I'm going to say, okay, is that when you come into this chat and this community that we've built, okay, that what I will always say is I'm not a dictator of the chat. I'm led by the chat. I'm happy to discuss different things, but we do keep it light here and we do keep it respectful. So if you're not respectful, and there are moderators in the chat as well, I do moderate myself. So if you are going to use profanities, then what's really, really easy to do is just remove you. And it's really, really easy. So all I'm going to say to you guys in the chat, and most of the people in here already are very, very respectful, and we've built this community on we can disagree and we can have our different opinions on things, and that is what we do here. But, you know, we don't accept racism on here. We don't accept any form of discrimination, profanities, and I know we all get frustrated at times, but it's really, really important that we all respect each other and our views, even if we do not agree. So, not Brett, mate, I completely agree with you, my friend, that I would drive him to the airport too. God, this dog, honestly, dog. Right. So, Indicator as a source, there is another X outlet, United Transfers or something they're called. And they sort of are leading on this as well. So for me, there's no smoke without fire. Now, we've got to question the source. Now, Indicator for me gets mentioned a lot of the time. They've been mentioned on bigger outlets than ourselves, and they are. I think there's a little bit of a as a source, as a legitimate source. I think there's you trust them or you don't trust them, but they do get some things right. I definitely think there's no smoke without fire on this one. Now, how would we get rid of this player? Now, in my opinion, this does line up a little bit with some of the stuff that we've been talking about. How do we get a midfielder in? Do we need a defender? Fuhad Isam says, hi. Hello, my friend. Shivram says, finally, some wise decisions. I love this news. Sell Holy Case, Ugarte, Garner, Sancho, Onana, Rashi, bring in Belieber and Lemens. Oh, Agent Scott is on the case. I'm loving Scott is a legend of the chat now, an absolute legend, and he's our agent. So I'll wait for the news for Scott, but we can talk about this until Scott comes in with the news. So do I think this lines up? I think it does line up. So from a logical perspective, we've got to look at this in two different ways, right? Is that number one, of all the players who would bring in value, and just in terms of a little bit of money and some wages off the books, Casemiro for me is that player. Does that free up some money? Yes. Does it free up some space? If Casemiro goes, then we're going to try and do something in the window. Do I believe that Casemiro will go or could go? I think if you're asking me who is more likely to go, for example, Sancho or Casemiro, then I'd probably say right now Casemiro. I'd probably say there's some legs in it. I think Sancho's not going to go anywhere. So I almost believe that Casemiro, it almost makes sense for Casemiro for me, because big wages off of the books. Casemiro's not going to get any game time. He's going to come into the last knock-ins of his contract. If El Ittihad match the wages as well, then and give him maybe another 2 to 3 year contract, I think it makes sense for him. I think it absolutely makes sense for him. So Scott's right. So Scott says, I was in a TFT stream before and I gave you a shout out in there. Thank you much, mate. And one of their mods said he reach out to Terry. He will help you out and make your platform bigger. It's a good opportunity for you. Oh, I was in the football Terry stream before and I gave you a shout out in there. And one of the mods said, if you reach out to Terry, he will help you out and make your platform bigger. It's a good opportunity for you. Scott, my friend, I am blown away, mate. I mean, that is as unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say on that, my friend. I honestly, that would mean so much to me. So I'll reach out to Terry and I'll give him a shout. Thanks, Scott. I mean, that is unbelievable, really, my friend. Yeah, it's things like this that, you know, not the fact that, you know, this channel in itself is getting bigger, but one of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because this is what I love more than anything else, is this interaction with people. And the fact that I connect with you guys and you connect with me just means it means more to me than you'll ever know. I'm being able to not only talk to you guys, but to bring communities together is I just have no words. And it just, you know, yeah, there's not often that I'm left out for words, but, you know, Scott, mate, it's just, thank you so much, my friend. Wow. So Casemiro, Stephanie says, well, Casemiro leaves us in midfield light. So I think this could be a key one. It makes a lot of logical sense for me that Casemiro is the one that goes. Now, I'll give you my opinion on this one, and I'll tell you why I think that makes logical sense for me, why he would go before Sancho. So Sancho for me doesn't want to go. 100% does not want to go. That's Danny B's in the chat, legend. So one of the things for me is that Sancho is going to be a really difficult one to do. He doesn't want to go. He wants a payoff. He's going to wait until the end of his contract and he's going to get paid. Now, you could argue that with Casemiro as well. You could argue that what's more value to Casemiro, to leave at the end of his contract? Is he going to get paid the same? Probably, maybe not. But I genuinely think Casemiro is a better character. 18's up 2-0. That is our youth team, I think, are fantastic, and fingers crossed we can bring those guys through, right? All depends on the paycheck. Exactly, Scott. And I think this is the thing. Would Casemiro go? So I think would you let Casemiro go for free, even if it's a couple of £1 million, and you get his wages off of the books? For me, I would happily do that. I think if you could get a little bit of money, Casemiro, I think, wants the same wage for the next maybe 2 to 3 years. So I personally think that that's easier to do than Sancho to Roma, Sancho to Turkey. So I think that there could be legs to this one. Do I think it's going to happen? I actually don't know. I would have laughed it off last week, but I do think there's legs in this one. I think Casemiro knows. So this is where I think Casemiro could be on this one, right? If Casemiro knows he's not going to play, and he wants another 2 or 3 years just playing, right? If he's smart, he'll go. Maybe he takes a slightly lesser wage and goes, look, I still want to be playing in 2 to 3 years' time. Maybe now is the time that I go. I know I'm not going to be playing this season, because if I don't go now whilst I'm playing football and I'm not playing next year, then nobody's going to want to come in and give me the wage that I want. So I might as well go now, get a really decent wage, as opposed to if he's a year older, knowing then is his value, his personal value and his wage will decrease. So why not secure that wage now for 3 years, go now and have another 3 years? So it's starting to make logical sense to me. Well, I think that deal would be easier to do. You know, would you even pay Casemiro 5 mil to go? Is that not worth it? So I think Casemiro, for me right now, this makes sense. Now, will we do it? Will it happen? I think I'm 50-50. Shivram, if he wants to play in the World Cup, it's his last chance. He needs to leave. Exactly. Will he get into a World Cup squad if he's in Saudi? I don't know. I'd like to think so. So I would say just let him go. You know, this is where I'm at on it. Even if you just say to the Saudi club, look, you know, he can just go. You know, just, you know, even if you just want to give him the 5 million now, you know, even if the Saudi club give him a little bit of a, you know, like a signing on fee, right? Give him that fee now and then let him go. That's 350k off the books. And then what that will tell me is that we're going to get a midfielder in. I don't think right now we're going to get a midfielder in. I think we are trying. I think Agume may be the one for me. I think we're still trying to do something. So I think this news is positive news. Dehexin says Menu, Kone, Kamara, Agume still are best options if they are available. Kone for me, like I said with Kone, right? I need to see him play a little bit more. I hope Kone, this community, this chat, I think we're all itching to see him play. Kone for me We just need to prepare ourselves in case he's not the one, right? He looks like a good player. I think he's too young. He's got this injury now, so I don't disagree that he could be the one, but I think right now, he's on about. Oh, sorry, ignore me. Thanks, Danny B. That Kone, yes. We need something. Kone, Roma Kone, yeah, agreed. Kamara, Agume, Stiller. We need something. I think Stiller will be I think that's a no. I think that's a difficult deal to do. I think Agume feels right. Sometimes when you're looking at centre midfielders or you're looking at players and you get a feel, you don't know why, who, what, where, but you get a feeling. And I think Agume, for me, if Casa goes, then we definitely need Issiem. Scott, spot on. I think you guys in the chat are spot on. So I think this could be the one. This could be the gateway. This could be the gateway to a new CM. So who would have thought that a Casemiro potentially off to Saudi would get this one done? So Joe said, I did see this one the other day, but it was just Benzema that said that Ittihad should sign Casemiro. An hour later, Cas came out at the official channel and says he has no plans on leaving. Again, the problem is now is what we are going to get is we are going to get a lot of this sort of stuff, and I think it's really important that we go through this, and we get opinions from Joe and we get opinions from everybody else. But the fact that this has resurfaced, maybe we are exploring this as well. But it seems to me that we're scratching around. We are trying to get something in. I really do think we are trying to do something. I don't think we're going to see one of these panic buys because I just don't think the money's there right now. But logically for me, I think Casemiro makes sense. It makes more sense than a Sancho leave. Sancho for me is not going to go, and if Sancho doesn't go, we need to find that money somewhere else. Maybe we try and push Casemiro out. So Shiram says, if Cass leaves, then that's the first payment for Belieber, 60 million in wages fee as well. Yeah, I Shivram, Belieber for me. I like the player. I really, really do, but I think it was a one shot hit. Obviously, I could be wrong, and maybe there is some sort of deal that we've done, and maybe he does come next season. But I truly believe right now, Belieber is done. I mean, my heart can't take all the potential stuff. It's almost a bit like a girl that you fancy, right? And she gives you that little bit of chance, or a guy, and they give you that little bit of flirting, and then they give you that little option maybe. But no, there really is just no chance. I did see something yesterday, and the Belieber stuff in now is just starting to annoy me because I like the player. I think we were very naive in what we were trying to do, but I almost kind of think now it's almost that we should move on. But I do like the positivity around it. I still would love to get the player, but I think Scott is 100% right, mate. I think he's absolutely. I think he's done. I think we had our chance, and we had our chance to act like a big club. But again, this is what happens when we clearly are a sell to buy club. Is that sadly for us, because we're not very good at it, we now are being punished with these players, and there's an opportunity to get these players, and we can't do it. So now we are relying on people like Casemiro. Now, again, I'll be totally fair, and we were talking about the transfer window, right? So, excuse me, is that we were talking about the window, and we were talking about scores, right? Igbinov, Thwaites, Mentato. So JJ definitely have a bright future. Yeah, I agree. Indicator, I got them blocked again after they use Transfer News Live as a source. Still a lie was the last straw for me. They had one hit with Belieber, and that's it. Yeah, Joel. Yeah, and I think this is what I think you've hit the sort of nail on sort of head there. But I think it's still important to come out with this stuff. And report it as I see it, and report it and bring it. And this is what we do on here, right, Joe? We've got people like you, we've got people like Scott now, we've got all you guys on here, and this is what is really, really important, that we come on here and we debunk this news as well, and we debunk and we talk through it, and we cut through the crap, and we say whether we think this is going to happen or not. So I agree with you. Indicator of taking a little bit of a smashing. 2-0 Spurs. Is that 2-0 to Spurs, or is that Spurs 2-0? Because I can't. So are Spurs winning 2-0? Because that would be unreal. To be fair, I would love to earn some cash on Casemiro this summer. City are getting beat. Oh, amazing. This summer, instead of losing him for free next summer, City are getting beat. Spurs are winning 2-0. And I decided to go for a run instead of watching that game. Shocking, absolutely shocking. Wow. This is exactly what I mean about this season. Is going to be so up. I mean, I was City. I thought looked really good in the first game. This is what I mean about Frank. Always said it. He was a top coach. People laughed at me. If you watched football at all, Thomas Frank, a great player, a great coach. You don't do what you did with the Brentford side if you're not a good player. Turkey looks absolutely terrible. Spurs could do well to find a new manager. That's crazy. I think this season is going to be so up and down. I think one of the things we did speak about, and one of the things that I think I did say, as we spoke about in when we were asking, or when people ask us or ask me, who do I think will finish high up in the league? And you've got to look at Spurs this season. Okay, I know they didn't get Eze, but Thomas Frank, you always get that new manager bounce as well. That's what they had with Big Ange as well. So if City do badly, then Spurs are leading the league, but the game is only half played. Exactly. I think Thomas Frank, I do as well. I really like Thomas Frank. I like his methods. I think he's a good manager as well. So I think Spurs finally may sort of have that coach that is a reliable source who said it. Well, Tulip, there are a load of outlets now, but it was Indicator, and as we know, Indicator do steal a load of stuff. They're not overly reliable, but they do have a presence. So I think it's really important for us to bring this on here, for us to debate this out, what we think from a logical perspective. If you guys have heard anything, and can we sort of debunk this myth? Now, I do think there is some legs in this, only on the basis, and this is my thoughts on this one. Do you think Thomas Frank is a successor of Amrin if he doesn't do well? Shivram, I'd love to give you an answer, but the reason why I'm not going to give you an answer is because I want to stick with this coach, and it's nothing to do with that. I think he would be a good manager, but I think I'd be doing a disservice to Amrin right now talking about other coaches. Potentially, I'm not going to disagree, and I don't think you're being disrespectful at all, but I just think that I want to concentrate on him right now, and kind of not even think about that. Danger Mouse, very well. I hope you are very well, my friend. I can only dream Casemiro goes when we replace him with Steeler or Gume. Amrin has achieved more than Frank is to attacking. Nope, I do not see Frank coming to United. I think he does not like United by recent comments he's done. Yeah, I don't. I don't. Right this second, I think I don't want to be, and people can obviously say what they like, and this is that place for you guys to come on and just give your thoughts, and I'm not going to disagree with you on that sort of stuff. But for me personally, I don't want to get into those conversations just yet, because I don't want to be like the mainstream. I don't want to be like these pundits out there who are going, like, who's going to be the next coach. I really couldn't care right now. I'm not, because I don't care about your opinions, and not because I don't value your opinions. But for me, I'm just, after the first game, really, really impressed. I don't even want to sow those seeds just yet. I'm sure in the coming weeks, I'm sure we're not going to need to sow those seeds ourselves. But for me, Casemiro will give this manager another player, I think, and will give him that more time to build his squad. And this is where I'm at. This is why this Casemiro deal could be, even if there's 40% chance of it, the fact that there is a chance, I'm hoping, is that this gives Amorim more players and more time to be able to succeed, and that is what I want. So these sorts of stories, whether they're true or not, I do think they're based on truth. And I think for me, Casemiro potentially going will happen probably more than a Sancho, because for me, Sancho does not want to go. Mind faces, I follow Celtic. I thought Big Ange was going to smash it with Spurs, but it was far from good. Yeah, and just one of those, it's a funny one, isn't he? I mean, at the end of the day, he still won a cup in his second season, right? I like Big Ange. Maybe he's not quite up to standard, but he still won a cup, right? So Big Ange for me. I like the personality. He was a bit grumpy towards the end, Aussie as well, but I good start, and then I think very much like, I'm going to say it, very much like Solskjaer, very much limited in what they could do, and maybe not quite Premier League standard. I fail to understand how Frank and Amorim can play the same system, but the result are so different. Help me comprehend it. Well, is it the same system though, really? So I think it really depends on how you can have 2 4-4-2s. People played for the longest while for a 4-3-3, but it really depends on how you utilize those wing backs. It depends on how you utilize those centre midfielders. It depends on how you utilize your number 10s. You're going to have one number 10s. Do you split your number 10? So even though they set up the same and the system is the same, it's how you deploy that system, really. And I know that's simplistic, but it really does depend on how you deploy those two centre midfielders. I don't really know how Spurs play. Do they have that sort of traditional number 6 and number 8? Whereas what we're trying to strive for is not a number 6 and a number 8. We're trying to have a little bit of a hybrid, whereby we basically just run up and down those flanks. So you have 2 CMs that are not really a defensive CM or an attacking CM. They both basically can do a little bit of it all. So even though they've got the same system, there's so many different aspects to that 5-2-2-1 system, that sometimes you can have completely different ways of playing, but even though it sort of looks the same. And also the players as well involved. So just because they seem to play the same way, completely different. So JJ starts under 18s and Rooney is on the bench. Spurs have higher football IQ. Yep, and Amorim doesn't have the players exactly. Watching it, Joe. If we go Thrames, Mentatu, toxic legend of the chat. He had Celtic playing some magical football, but he went to a far bigger league. Frank plays 3 at the back against PS2. I'm also missing. Didn't Frank bottle 2-0 lead and fights with Spurs? Martin, he did it. Probably bottle it again. Spurs unmoved, but I feel come back. Oh, Danielo Ribeiro. Mate, I mean, honestly, my friend. I mean, before you get banned, I'll give you a choice. I'll give you an opportunity to either redact the statement and give yourself a little bit of respect. But one thing we do on here, okay, is you're gonna get banned, which I don't like to do, right? So, why do you want to get banned? I don't get it. I don't get it, my friend. It's really, I don't mind you being in here, my friend, but obviously any political, any racist, any views like that, mate, well, there's no place for that in life, and there's no place for that in here as well. So all that's going to happen is you're going to get banned. So sadly, my friend, you are the moose. So sad. Anthony Gibbs, hope you're doing really, really well. You never walk alone. Yeah. And I'm guessing you're a Liverpool fan. Now, as long as we are respectful, I don't mind. Liverpool fans in the chat, you know, we've had some really good conversations, really good, logical, respectful, banterish conversations on here as well. So you're more than welcome to come on and, you know, see how a big club fan channel operates. So you're more than welcome. So Casemiro will go Weekend United's team. It's April Fool's Day. No, Amarin's still in charge. Anthony, legend, my friend. You're more than welcome here. Not Amarin. Is it April Fool's Day? No, Amarin's still in charge. If Casemiro goes, that leaves us with 3 midfielders. So John, yes. So this is why I think it's really important not to sleep on this one. We all want a new centre midfielder. This is what I think we all want next. So Lamens is coming in. That's going to get like a here we go soon. Convinced on that one, right? We need a centre midfielder. Stephen Moore, yes, I did. We did a watch along for the West Ham Chelsea game last night. We can give our opinions on that as well. Big up 23 in the chat. Exactly. Guys, give us a like, favorite, and subscribe. Just give a like. All I'm asking for is give a like for this amazing community. Give a like for these amazing people in the chat and what we do. All I do is I lead it in some respects, and I give you my opinion, but it's where this chat is. This chat is amazing. So I think, John, what happens, my friend, is that if Casemiro goes, I think we're going to go for a midfielder because we're going to be light. I think we're going to need another one in there. And if Casemiro is the one, we've got 7 days left. We should start to see if people are going to go. We'll start to see it now. Sancho, for me, forget it. I will give Ineos and the football side so much credit if they get Sancho out of this door. If they get Casemiro gone and Sancho goes, for me, this window goes from a 5 up to a, and they get in a centre midfielder. This window goes from a 5 to a 7. Now, the reason why for me it goes from a 5 to a 7 is because getting rid of Casemiro and then getting rid of Sancho, I think they're very, very difficult things to do. And I think it takes a very skilled hand to get rid of those two players. Not because Casemiro is difficult, but I think it's more of a difficult thing to do. But if they get rid of that wage and that player and Sancho goes, for me, it shows me that we are a serious club. So if we can get those two gone, then, you know, I will give credit where that's due. And I then think that we go and get a centre midfielder. Will we panic buy? I don't know. But I think if Casemiro goes, that gives you an indication of what it is that we're trying to do. Did you watch the West Ham game last night? Yes, we did. Mike Harris, we cannot handle headers. How you doing, sir? I'm doing very well. Hope you are doing well as well. We need 2 Casemiro goals. Did you see City are losing to Spurs? I've just been told that as well. That is hilarious. They continue in the way they'll go down. We dodged the bullet with Tadiba. Oh my god. So JJ scored. That is going to be a cracking player. I mean, he's going to go into the first team, and he can't play, can he? Because he's 14. I think he has to be 15, 16 to play for the first team. Tadibo was absolutely terrible. He was, and Kilman as well. They were absolutely awful. Now, what I will say is that Chelsea looked okay going forward, but I wasn't impressed. I have to say, maybe in a couple of games' time when we play them, maybe it would have gelled, and maybe they'll be better. But Chelsea's back four we can get at that Chelsea back four. Now going forward, they do look a little bit ragtag, but they do look very good. They've got some really, really good players. And if that front four gel, if Palmer's back in there as well, they look like a danger. But I thought 5-1 flattered them. I thought West Ham were the architects of their own loss. And I thought that 5-1 flattered Chelsea, but ultimately Chelsea won. So, we can't really do too much on that one. Anthony says, United played well against Arsenal, but they didn't get the result they deserved. To be honest, it was very, very, very kind of you to say so. It's gutting. It is, when you particularly look at, what we could have done if we'd have, got a striker in earlier, if we'd could have got a keeper in earlier. What I will say, Liverpool, for example, have just gone and done their business. They're going to gel at some point. I thought City might go on to win the league, but you look at what they've done today. This league I think it's going to be a very open league this year. If Liverpool get Isaac, I know there's still time to do that deal. I don't know if that deal is off of the table now, but Liverpool, hats off to Liverpool, and our job is to try to catch up to Liverpool. That is now our job, and we have to, by hook or by crook, have to get there. So we move on from the Arsenal game, and tomorrow Fulham is definitely the one that we need to focus on now. What do you think about Estevao? I think he looked brilliant, mate. I think for the age, I think he looks brilliant. I really, really impressed with him. I thought individuals at Chelsea looked really, really good. It's just when they come together, as a team, and they are cohesive as a team, then for me that is when there'll be a danger. So if they do gel and gel early, the talk of titles I think is very, very naive, and I think it's very silly right now. When you've just beaten a West Ham who lost to Sunderland 3-0, and then Sky Sports are talking about a title race, I think that's very naive. I think that's very easy for them to do so. But they do look good up front. They caught West Ham. West Ham were awful. So, just keep an eye on them. But I don't think they're going to be in a race for the title. So 4-0 to the Academy. Well done to them. You need a United back. Yeah, I will have. I've got plans. I've got plans for my normal space. I just have to do it. So this is my living room as it was. I literally just came back from a run, saw the stuff, jumped on again, and then. But yeah, I do need some sort of United background just to let people know that this is what this is all about. Under 18s will win in the league this year. I hope so. Scott says, "Kiss Messi." They call him Kid Messi. I mean, let's hope. Let's hope we can get one of the best players in the world as well. Danny B says Amarin said that he will occasionally train with the first team. is looking good, isn't he? Rooney is also looking good as well. So, you know, I will give Ineos football side a credit for that. You know, it looks like they're trying to do stuff with the youth as well. So, you know, we're setting up the football side really well. We just need that most important bit in the middle. As a United fan, we actually need the likes of Spurs, Villa, and Newcastle to lose. Agreed, but this is what we meant, right? When you leave, don't forget to reach out to Terry and let me know what goes on, mate. Of course, mate. I will happily reach out to Terry. Scott, mate. I again, brilliant, my friend. I so thankful for you trying to help me out. You know, it means a lot to me that you think that this channel is good enough, and you think that, you know, I am good enough to be able to, even be mentioned to a massive channel, a channel and a person that I respect a lot. So, you know, that would be fantastic. Tox says, "Are plans for United background? You got to have Bruno Fernandes." I do actually have plans. I've been banging on about it. I've got a poster, right? And there's a poster that I had when I was about 6 or 7, and it's from 1989, I think it is, or it might be 1990. And it's the same poster. It's not the poster, but it's a copy of the poster that I put up on my wall just after the loss in the 91-92 season to Leeds. I put it up at the end of that season, and then in the very next season, 92-3, that's when we started to win the league. So I'm going to put that poster up. I've got a sticker thing to put on the wall as well. Paul McGrath, yeah. Actually, let me tell you a fact, right? And I'm going to try Rooney goal. I love it. Rooney goal. Kai Rooney, 5-0. Wow, that is well done. 5-0 to Rooney. I mean, imagine that, right? Imagine having Rooney's son play, even if he's like 70% of his dad. Imagine that. I mean, he'd be an unbelievable player. So well done to Kai. Well done, lad. I'm gonna try to make this happen. So Paul Parker. I've got to watch under 18s more. To be fair, I just completely forget that it's on. I need to watch that as well. To be honest with you, so yeah. So Paul Parker, an integral part of that United side and an integral part of the first Premier League winning side. He lives around here somewhere where I live. He lives around here, and when I go to the shop sometimes I see him in the shop. Now, I was Rooney 15 or 16. Isn't Rooney's 15? I think. Is Rooney 15? I don't know. So Paul Parker lives around here. I'd love to try and get Paul Parker on the show. I'd love to get him on here. So if I see him next, I'm gonna ask Paul Parker if he wouldn't mind to come on the show. So the legendary right back Paul Parker, who won I think 3 Premier Leagues. I'm sure it's Paul Parker as well, by the way. So if you don't know who Paul Parker is, look him up. So I'm gonna try to get Paul Parker on here because I've seen him around. I'm convinced that it's him. In fact, I know that it's him. So I'm gonna try and hunt him down. I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna basically try to make him come on here and do some sort of like interview, because I would love to get. He was one of my favorite players. He was one of my favorite players. I don't know why. You had all your Cantonars even before him as well. You had Giggsy come through, and but I loved Paul Parker. I thought he was a really, really great player. So I'm gonna try as I might to get Paul Parker on the channel. He might say no. He might think I'm some sort of weirdo who's come up to him on the street and asked him if he's Paul Parker and would he come on the channel, and he might just laugh me off. But I'm gonna give it a go and see if Paul will come on. So yeah, if you have just joined, before I go, because I need a shower because I've been for a run. I'm tired right now. Yeah, so Casemiro, Ittihad, apparently there is reports out there from Indicala and a couple of others that Casemiro is potential again, that Saudi may be coming in for him. I think for me it makes logical sense in my mind. It makes sense, I think, for Casemiro, and it would make sense for us. And I think if he goes, it may means that we could try to get something over the line for a centre midfielder. So I will be back again. I'll be back for the watch along tomorrow. I probably will be back this evening as well. And yeah, so let's see if Spurs can finish off City under 18s. Let's see how many more goals that they can score, guys. Honestly, I always say this to you guys: you spending time with me is amazing. Spending time with each other, having me on in the background, talking to each other is just unbelievable. And this channel, it means nothing without you guys, and I really mean that. This is I never thought in my wildest dreams that we would have created something, amazing, and we are becoming like a little family now. So it means so much to me, guys. So have a good rest of your afternoon, evening, morning. Hopefully you can join me tomorrow for the watch along. I might try and do the Arsenal one today. It really depends on when the missus comes back and if she gives me permission to spend more time with you lot. We'll see. So if not, have a good rest of your day. I will catch you at some point today. Yeah, and let's get to it, guys, and we get ready for the match tomorrow. So I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, and yeah, see you soon.